Have you ever felt so tired that you know you'll need more than just a few hours sleep to charge back up ready for the world again? Hmm? I have. Sometimes when we push through whatever it is we're facing, there comes a point when you just can't. What then? What do you do when your tank is empty and you still have to keep going? My name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Do you know what the word triage means? It's a French word that means to sort out or to separate out. In modern use, the word has migrated over to the English language and it's usually used in hospital, accident and emergency rooms. The idea is that when you have a number of patients all at the same time, some will need attention much more quickly than others. Certain ailments will be life-threatening if not addressed instantly, while others, despite perhaps being painful, can wait until the more urgent situations are dealt with. The concept is clever, of course, and makes best use of available resources. I've noticed this idea running into other situations too, say on a building site, or with crew on an aircraft perhaps, and even a shopping list at the supermarket. Dealing with the urgent and the important, and preventing lesser things becoming urgent and vital, all add up to being good at triage. I suppose it's a fancy way of saying being organized. But it's more than that, isn't it? In life, we often have to deal with more than we can handle all at once. The phone rings, there's a knock at the front door, and then the lights go out, all at the same time. That. Or perhaps you're dealing with family situations that all need urgent attention at the same time. We live right in the middle of a small city that has over 100 miles of golf cart track. It's rather lovely, especially in the summer. Just to be able to use a golf cart instead of a car to go to the shops, visit friends, or go out for dinner or whatever. It's quite normal around here to see golf carts lined up at the drive-through or parked outside a doctor's surgery. As strange as it may seem, we will sometimes do our grocery shopping on our golf cart. It's fun. But there's a problem. If you decide to buy something from the frozen food aisle, you'll have to triage. First, you have to be organized. Despite not being laid out that way in the shop, you have to pick up the frozen things last. Then you have to remember to bring a cooler with you on the golf cart with an ice block in it. You have to make sure what you're buying will actually fit inside the cooler too. Then you can't dilly-dally on the way home. Once home, the frozen items need to go into the freezer before you unpack the rest of the shopping. So yes, we can do shopping on the golf cart, but there are some things you have to remember to think about. Our word triage really doesn't apply in some ways to this situation, does it? Triage is more a process of assessing what you have in front of you and dealing with that. Triage takes into account your resources, your abilities, and the time you have to complete a task. Our frozen food shopping expedition relies on something else too. Did you see what it was? The cooler. That cooler is key to the whole success of the journey. But the cooler can't be included in a triage process if you leave it at home. The difference here is being prepared, anticipating that you're going to need it, and intentionally taking the time to find it, put an ice block inside, and taking it with you. Sometimes, when we're facing the onslaught of life situations, we're left trying to deal with things without the resources we need, without the cooler, as it were. We know as we go through life, things are going to get rough, at least from time to time. We know situations are going to get away from us, and people are going to do things we really wish they wouldn't. But instead of being taken by surprise, being caught off guard, how do we go prepared for that? Well, this is by no means a new problem. Isaiah, surprise, wrote about it long ago and spoke of God being the solution, the protective cooler, as it were. He never grows weary or weak. No one can measure the depth of his understanding. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Nice. But there's a problem. If when we find ourselves in those messy situations, we only then try to use God, we're likely to have more questions than answers. How does it work? How do I communicate with God? What do I actually need to do? If you aren't used to using the resources you have, when difficult times come, and they will, God is unlikely to be your go-to resource. You're much more likely to resort to trying things that you've used in the past without thinking. Money, friends, calling the police perhaps even. Does it work? Is not a question you need to be asking in an emergency or in a stressful situation. Oh, there you go, stress. Did I mention that before? No? If you only call out to God when things go wrong, you'll probably be in a last resort situation. Stress and worry go hand in hand when those disaster looming end of the line what now situations are right there in front of you, don't they? The message from Isaiah is clear enough, but discovery of that message in a time of stress, worry, or calamity is no time to try it out. Not for the first time, anyway. No, God never grows weak or weary, and no one can measure the depths of his understanding, but knowing that before we need to try it is by far the better way to ride a golf cart. I love that. Those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. My problem is sometimes keeping going, doing things the way I always do, and not including God in that daily routine process as much as perhaps I should. Flying high and being able to keep going, even though there are really difficult situations in front of us, relies on me walking with God when things are relatively easy. Doing that first. I have a friend who greets me at work early in the morning. As I walk in, he looks at me with a smile, knowing I have a very full day ahead, and says, "You've got this." My response is always, "No, I don't got this. We've got this together. Now, let's get on with it." I've found together makes all the difference. Together with God, too, means I have the cooler with me. Until next time, goodbye.